everybody. Welcome back to the B Channel podcast, where my objective is to bless, edify, and encourage others to live their best lives. And today's topic is why fitness is a mandate, featuring Kevin Franklin. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
What's going on? I am Kevin Franklin. I am a fitness and wellness coach. In addition, I work with plenty of people as a behavior counselor, so I work with many of the youth as well. But I'm excited for this conversation here where we're going to talk about a lot of health and fitness.
Yes, that's amazing. Yes, keep working with those youth. We need that. We need all the mentorship we possibly can have. That's a whole nother conversation.
Whole different conversation. Yeah, let's focus on fitness. Let's focus on fitness.
Yes. What are some of the misconceptions that you've noticed in the world of fitness?
Misconceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So misconceptions of fitness is that first that it is in a location
Mm-hmm.
that has to be in a gym, that it has to be on YouTube, that fitness is not a location, but it's who you are. It's a way of life. Um, I like to say that we were born in this world healthy, but it takes time, energy, effort, investment to be fit. We're talking about the physical aspect, but you can take that in mental fitness. You can take that in emotional fitness. I'm married, and a new father. There's a new father fitness among me right now, but it takes um, fitness is not just about being stronger in the gym. It's about or going to the gym. It's about how you approach your day to day, everyday life to take on, put yourself in a state of readiness to handle whatever comes your way. And I'm very passionate about this when it comes to men of faith, or holistically when aligning this with faith.
Yes, and I have taken note of that, and we're gonna circle back to that later, so don't you worry
Let's
about
go.
that.
Okay.
But I love what you said because fitness is much more than that physical aspect. Like you have to work on all the different types of fitness in your life. So that's vital. And do you have any practical advice for how to leverage our energy to best serve our lives?
Leverage our energy to best serve our lives. So I think the first thing is just being aware that fitness we is a game of energy. It's a game of how much stress you put on yourself. Once again, we talked about the mental, but the physical exertion, but how much also is being recovered is also being recovered. So once you see it's everything's a game of energy, you can be in position to really focus on leveraging your energy over anything. So I think the biggest issue is that many don't actually see, um, or at least are gauging how their energy is. We talk about, I need more energy. I'm losing my energy. I'm getting drained, but we're not really focused on, okay, what's really draining our energy? How do we maintain our energy? So there's certain factors that I focus on that really can really just leverage our energy to our advantage. I'm very, can I continue to go on? I'm just checking. Can I move on?
Sure.
Sure. So main thing is I'm hyper intentional about making sure that you make you a priority, that you have that time for yourself. For my clients and people, I'll say on social media, I have the theme that the king eats first, that you must be a priority, to make sure you be intentional when it comes to mental, physically, emotional and spiritual, that you dedicate that time for you, just like a business, just like a work time. We need that dedicated time to refill ourselves up and make that a non-negotiable. So just being intentional about, okay, I got to fill myself up, fill my cup up, whatever that means. Usually I like the mornings, but whatever, how you just be intentional about that, just to have that fill up time and not make it a reactive escape that we talk about self-care and all that so forth, but be intentional about that. Next thing is really how can we leverage certain habits, focus on habits, leverage our habits to work in our favor, then work against us. So next thing, I'm really advocate of win the morning. If you win the morning, you're more likely to win the day. And once you do that, you just ride the momentum out into that ripple effect. So, for instance, example, and I'll give you a chance to speak. I'm not trying to take over the show, but first thing in the morning, I'll make sure I set the tone by activating my body. So that means internally hydrate. Have I drink a liter of water first thing in the morning because most of us wake up dehydrated. We lose 2.5 ounces of water every single day, and 2.5 liters of water every single day. And we don't replenish it. So first thing in the morning, rehydrate, replenish the water. Next two, after you activate the body internally, activate the body externally. Move, like you move, and be a walk around, quick exercise, take walks, because a lot of times we take our stiff body from the morning in bed and we take that into our car, and then we take that to our workplace where we sit in a chair and we really don't activate our body, which even animals and even as babies we naturally stretch first thing we do get up in the morning, and we don't do that anymore. So get the stiffness out of our body. And then the third thing, and I'll wrap up with this, is that I'm a big advocate of having a very quality first meal. Set the first meal at least up for success, where you're not causing food that you consume is not causing you to be more stressed, but actually fill your body up with quality nutrients.
Wow. That is so helpful because it's like I love what you said in the beginning when you were talking about not using exercise as a reactive escape. And I love what you said about winning the morning, because that does set the tone. And it's so profound what you said. Like we really do like get out of bed and then go go do something else where we're sitting down, and then go do something else where we're sitting down. There's no like standing, like, and I'm trying to make that a thing. Like if I can remember to stand up sometimes, because you know what they always say, sitting is the new smoking. So
Mhm.
I just try to keep that in mind. Like and then you said the water, that is a humongous bottle.
Oh, yeah.
You
You
get through
don't
that
need to
whole
drink
thing
all that.
every day?
Usually, if not, I set the tone maybe at the very bottom, at maybe
Mm-hmm.
my 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock mark. But you don't need to drink a gallon of water. But most people, if
Uh-huh.
you eat your water, fruits, vegetables. There's things that have
Yeah.
water, but even but the significance of it, and side segue, and if you want to eat right, a lot of the quality stuff when people know about eating more protein and stuff like that, it takes more water, it takes more energy to actually digest that food. So if you're not
Right.
hydrated, your body's working at half capacity. So that where the headaches come in, that's where the body aches coming in, that's where the bad digestive issues come in because we don't have enough water sometimes or not enough fluids. So
Right.
that's a big deal. In addition, like I said, like most people are, I'm sweating now a little bit, but exert 2.5 liters of water each and every day through breath, urine,
Mm-hmm.
and just sweat.
Yeah. Crying, everything.
All that too. You
So
gotta add crying. Absolutely.
yes, and that's so true. Like, I try to do that too. Like, eat the water with like fruit and stuff like that, water rich fruit, and I like what you said though, like because we don't even think about it like that in terms of eating. That the water is like so vital to the digestive process and to the metabolism and everything like that. But it's the electrolyte balance that we have to keep intact so we can keep ourselves moving effectively, right?
Absolutely. Can I remind you of a easy, quick fact that most of us know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure most of us know that about they say 70% of our bodies full of water, right?
Mm-hmm.
One thing I like to go deeper is that our vital organs are usually more than 70% of water. So when it comes
Oh,
to our lungs, I forgot what it is, but I know our lungs is like 80%. Our brain is like 70% water. Our skin is a lot of water. Even our bones is 22% water. Our heart,
what?
like our bodies consume so much of water, but usually our vital organs demand so much more. And once again, just going by the brain, if our body's about 80% water. I'm not, don't quote me on that. I know it's like off, but it's if our body's majority water in that fashion and we're not getting enough fluids, and we talk about like headaches, can't think clearly, we can't focus, we're moving lethargic and sluggish. um I've not gonna say cured, but I help so many clients just by teaching them to hydrate more, and a lot of their headaches, body aches usually go away because they just needed more fluids in their body.
Right. It's such a small thing that has big impact. It really does. So, why do you feel like fitness is a godly need and not just about vanity?
Mm, yeah, I forgot about this. So Godly need. Fitness is, I kind of said it a little bit. Fitness is everything. I think fitness is taking care of godly need is pretty much how we take care of our temple. Um,
Mhm.
and vanity, I think the biggest issue that most of us get caught up in our ages of being young, and anything you can form, it can any, and you can view anything, and it can be abused in a form of vanity, whether it's over gluttony, food consumption, how we look, how we dress up, like put a makeup, whatever it may be. Like anything can be skewed in a certain way, but fitness is usually focused on being selfish it's selfish to take care of your body. And I think the verse, I forgot I don't know the verse in Matthew or Mark, but it's Jesus's top two commandments, where it's love your neighbor with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. That's in the Mark trans, I believe in Mark. And then the second one's like it is love your neighbor as yourself. And the key word is as yourself. That means at the capacity you're currently at your current fit capacity you're at. Most, I think, many guys, at least in the church I know, is that they think loving yourself, love your neighbor as yourself, is loving your neighbor more than yourself, over serving than your
Mm.
capacity. But the word says love your neighbor as yourself. That means you can only reflect love to where you're currently at in a capacity. And I say to fitness. So if my energy is down, if my peace of mind is down, if I'm sluggish, you are limited to your capacity to serve and love your neighbor as yourself, or you're limited to that certain capacity. So fitness is a godly thing over fitness is how we skew. It's how we perceive it. If you are only looking for the wins of small waist, smaller guts, the biceps, arms, back, butt, whatever it may be, there's perks in it. There's, like I said, even like money is a godly thing and used in the right way. That's the other frame. But if you want to focus on, I want to be an example for my kids. I want to have more energy. I want to be the example so they don't need to look at the mess that's on the social media, the news that is trying to negatively influence them. Because that's what we're called to be. We're called to be models. We're called to be examples. We're supposed to be the church, but we can't do that if we're not taking care of our temple and be that example of how we take care of our temple, um, and so forth. And I forgot, a man who don't rule his own spirit. And you take it to Clan's translation how you want. It's like a city without broken walls. So if we're not taking
Yeah.
care of our own walls, like how can we convey any type of love or service?
Yes, that's so true. Um, I'm gonna skip ahead real quick because of what you
I
just
love the touch.
mentioned. Yes, because I'm gonna circle back to a couple of things here, but you cater to men, busy leaders, and men of faith. So, what does an ideal role model for fitness look like?
An ideal model of fitness look like. Now, I think I kind of said it a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to tell you how to be for your kids. The word tells you enough, like how you're supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
and so forth. But the question was, how does an ideal model say that? What, can you repeat the question again, Amber?
What does the ideal role model for fitness look like? Like, what is that? What does that mean to you? Like, how do you define that?
Ideal role model in fitness is
Yes.
pretty much walking the path that you pretty much preach or speak to others. And it's really that simple. It's don't don't be in a position to tell kids or whoever, or lead whoever you're following, something that you're not staying true to yourself or following through with yourself. Um, I think fitness, as again, I said it before, fitness is a state of readiness, a state of just being ready and showing people the way rather than telling them the way. I think the biggest downfall in today's world and society is that a lot of people talking, a lot of people have podcasts, and that's great, and social media and trying to be polarizing. But how are you living and following through? Anybody can speak, but it's how you walk it out. It's how you live it out. And what I'm learning as I work with these kids, they're always watching. They're always watching. They don't learn from your words. They learn from your actions. They learn how you show up each and every day. They learn by your habits and tendencies. And that's what they internalize holistically.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, and I love what you said. Fitness is a state of readiness. That
Yeah,
was a word. Okay.
yes,
We want to be prepared.
yes.
That's amazing.
You can think of it this way
So,
also, Amber, and I'll leave it this, like, if, like, so many individuals are looking forward to being in a position to be blessed,
mhm.
but are you fit enough to handle the blessing that God's ready to wants to give to you? There's a
Okay.
state of fitness that you have to be. There's a state of energy. There's a state of spiritual fervor that's going to have them. That's going to be required for the next level that God wants for you. Because the current you is not going to be able to handle it. Your current you might be too stressed out. The current you might have not enough energy. Your current you might need to be on stage to present a message to those who need to hear you. But are you not just in position, but are you fit enough to carry on the mission? Just
Now
be in that
that
state of
that's deep. That is so deep. And I feel like y'all, whoever's listening, watching, if that's something to really hold on to, that was the gem. Okay. He was preaching up here. But for those people out there who are struggling, how do they get to the root cause of why their fitness journey hasn't been successful?
for those struggling, how do they get to their root cause? You gotta talk about your habits. You gotta talk about not. You gotta get past the quick fixes. Get past the diet plans. I know church folks were fasters a lot of times. A lot of us are juicers apparently, and think about what can I do that is simplistic enough, but also sustainable. That's going to make that I can make last for the next 10 plus years. Because if you're doing something that you can't do for the next 10 plus years, why do it for a day? The-
Oh,
So
wow.
the whole frame that I do, and of course I've been here for a while. I worked my way up to sharpening myself up eventually. You need to build a foundation of habit of what does m- taking care of my health on a daily basis look like? Or at least what does a system you have a system in place? What does that look like? And it starts with our habits. Usually it's we if I ask you, myself, whoever, we're very aware of the bad habits that's holding us back. How do we put structure around those bad habits? Are we aware of them? If I ask what are it's not hard. What are our most deadly habits? Me is late night eating. Me is I'm a foodie when it comes to fries, cookies, stuff like that. Ice
Okay.
cream. My wife, I'm not gonna blame my wife, but sometimes she wants the muffins and stuff like that. Go to Cold Stone. I gotta be a prepared word for it. That's my kryptonite. That's my weakness. That's
Okay.
something I have to be aware of, but that's something I also gotta position myself accordingly to still enjoy those things while not letting them over consume me and run my day to day. Because um I'll share this, and you take it with you. Um, we hadn't talked about this initially, but
Mhm.
I've heard on this YouTube, and I'll share it with you if you want. He said that the adversary's secret weapon to destroy all things is food, because
Mm.
the first temptation of Adam and Eve was food. The first temptation when Jesus was fasting was food. The Israelites were enslaved in Egypt for 400 years due to a famine of food. So everything when it comes to food has always been driven, and that could be a form of gluttony and so forth like that. But the whole frame is that you gotta know your kryptonite. What is your weakness that's keeping you stuck, and build frames around the bad habits while also building small new habits such as the water, such as the win the morning aspect that kind of mentioned before.
That's so true. And it's so deep to really go back and look at it like that. Because, ooh, everything was food. And then, even when they had food, the Israelites, they were gluttonous about the manna and got sick.
There you
So
go.
it's like, child, that food is something else. So I'm like, okay, that's a lot to chew on, you
It's a lot,
know?
yeah, pun intended, I'm sure. A lot to chew on. That's my job here. Is just bring awareness to let people think. Because I'm not here to because telling you what to do, eat less, move more. Most people can do the surface level stuff that don't help people out. I'm grateful just bringing awareness of what's going to make this stick of why do I need to stay fit, not just for me, maybe as not just because I'm a man of faith, because I'm a, how it's going to impact me as a father, how's it going to impact me as a husband, how's it going to impact me when I mentor these kids, how's it going to impact me as a leader by example. You got to make it bigger than vanity. So, because you got to bring awareness to you and see, like, and then it kind of makes you reflect where you are now and where God might want you to be if we are in that state of readiness.
Right. And it's just so important that you know your why, basically.
Yeah,
That's what I hear you saying.
absolutely. 100. Why, and why is everything. And when it comes to why, a mistake for me I've done, and I realize is that most people want a big why. What's the big
Mhm.
why of what's going to make the be the end all be all for this is it. This is finally it. And they might say family, my kids and stuff like that. I'm learning more and more. It's the small whys stacked up
Mm.
better than the big whys. So I listed my family, my kids. I'm a newborn. I have a newborn little girl right now that I want her to know to not worry about food or health. And she, I'm to this day, I'm going to state that she will have to never worry about health and fitness issues because I know who her father is and I know who her mother is. Like that stuff that she don't have to worry about. Be an example for your parents who don't know the way by that example. These kids who see your image talk all this smack, but they can see how you walk and how you carry yourself in fitness. You cannot quick fix no muscles or your energy. Like that
Okay.
stuff, it ripples down. Those whys keeps you going. Rooting it into kingdom values, as I like to do, keeps me grounded, making sure that this is a God thing. This is just not a Kevin thing or a vanity thing. Stack the
Yeah,
why.
that is great. I love that. Stack the why. Come on with the gems. Okay. So I would like to ask, let's ask a selfish question for a moment. As a
Yep.
caregiver and um, other people out there that are like me, maybe they're just a busy person, period. They have a lot going on. How do they sustain a fitness routine through life transitions?
Mm. How do they sustain a fitness routine due to life transitions?
Yes.
I think for it's well for just for anybody and everybody, like life is be life in everybody's life. There's always curveballs. There's like family deaths. Like there's always tragedies, crises, job loss, whatever it may be. There's always life's always going to be shifting, and it's kind of why I love this frame state of readiness for fitness because you got to be ready for prepare yourself for the unknown. You prepare yourself for to react and respond in a form of grace, a form of love and caring, like and energy, no matter what comes your way. But to answer your question, is how do you start that? Is that you? I think people have to understand how to make fitness their core foundation because we jumped the gun from God and faith to others and we neglect the middle person in between. We neglect
Mhm.
ourselves and we value others. Back to that verse, love your neighbor as yourself. I
Mhm.
think I love those verses so much because it goes in order for me. You got love the Lord with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. All right. What's your capacity you want to love the Lord? And then similar is love your neighbor, but as yourself. So that means you have to come first before you love others. You have to be in a form of not selfishness, but they say you got to be a little bit of selfish so you can be more selfless to fill your cup to pour more. I think starting that as a foundation of our health and fitness has to be a foundation before we do anything else in life because wherever you go, there you are. When it comes to forms of crisis, death, like how you going to show up in those peace of mind? Where does your peace of mind go when those harsh moments come? How do you still take care of you? Or are you someone who goes right to take care of the family? And I know a lot
Right.
of guys who do that and they neglect themselves, they put them to the side, and although they're not showing it, they're slowly imploding. They have their form of anxiety, they have their form of depression, and you're not in the best state being in that position and being hiding it and masking it for the sake of somebody else while you are suffering in between. I think
Right.
the hierarchy is we got to make sure that we put this as a foundation through godliness, through you, so you can serve, because we are the temple. we are his people. We are the blessings. We are the ones to be out there for
Right. It's so true because like you said, I mean, we can't do anything if we don't have us. Like sometimes we're just so busy looking at other people and what other people need in our lives, and it's
them.
like we forget us. And even in those hard moments and those hard seasons, we have to find a way to show up. And like I guess you would say, like, would you suggest like a 5 minute workout, or like what would you suggest people try to do in those hard seasons where they can't figure out how to get that apple in, or
Yeah.
get a salad or something? Like, what can they do when it's like it just seems like there's no room? Like they need something quick. Like I know it's not gonna be a quick fix, but like practical ways to be like, you know.
So the first thing is always to bring awareness. Like right now,
Mhm.
that's this whole conversation is bringing awareness. That's before
Mhm.
anything, and that's why we're big on it. Is we got to bring awareness to the situation, and before we do anything, we got to see. There's always a season of plowing. So if we're doing something for everybody else and we're not for us, something might need to be sacrificed. Something has to be a small sacrifice to have a bigger gain in that form. Or we add more
Mm.
and we burn out. We try to power through and stack and stack and stack, and we overdo it. You still there, Amber? Okay.
Yes.
I saw you freeze a little bit, but simplest thing, you got to know your baselines when it comes to numbers. So baselines, most people don't know the foundation of um, what their body actually needs. They just know that they can eat better, they can eat more, they can eat a little bit healthier, quote unquote, whatever that word means. I hate that word, but
It's so
uh,
vague, right?
vague, and it's illusion. There's no healthy, but right now because we're either living or dying. But point is um know your numbers, know how much fuel your body actually needs. So how much my body can consume is going to be different, or capacity is going to be different than your current capacity based off different factors, being gender, age, activity rate, lifestyle, height. There's certain factors that will dictate how much nutrients that you need versus what I
Mhm.
need. Plus I have muscles, like stuff like that. There's certain factors, so know your fuel intake,
Right.
so you actually know what your body needs. And most people don't know that. Like, what does my body actually need? How much calories or fuel does my body actually need if I was a car intake?
Right.
And you start viewing it as that. It's like, okay, you just eating less, less, less. You're gonna have no gas in the tank, and that's where burnout happens.
Right. Cause that's what we do sometimes. We were like, okay, I need to eat less. And it's like you go from being gluttonous to just like, I'm gonna fast. And like there's no in between.
There's
And
no
you
more.
gotta have some middle ground.
Mhm.
And like you say, it really is about awareness. And I feel like, for those of us out there that are brave enough to go into the space of therapy, what I learned from therapy is, as
Mhm.
somebody who recently embarked upon that journey, is
Okay.
that the person, like whoever your coach is, like whoever that person is that's helping you, like you would be helping as a trainer, their job is just to offer that
Mhm.
moment to reframe and just give you suggestions. They cannot do the work for you. So I really hear you
Absolutely.
saying that basically, like we have to be willing to put in the effort to take care of ourselves, to be knowledgeable about what's going on in our bodies and what we need.
Absolutely. And since you brought a coaching, I'll tell you a frame that one of my coaches told me, and applies this to business, but it also applies to fit health, is that most people are not clear on the vision of what they want. If I
Mm-hmm.
tell if we and it's where there's no vision of people perish. We don't, a lot of times we don't apply that to our fitness, or we just don't have a clear. It's just very blurred. So, what do you want? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Who's it going to impact?
Mm.
What will be different if you had that tomorrow?
This is so perfect because I was just about to ask you, what does that mean to have a vision or a goal for your health, like at the base level? Like what would that look like if somebody was to ask themselves, like how do they start that process of having a goal for
So
themselves?
let's walk you through. Let's walk through it a little bit. I kind of did a little bit. Let's walk it through.
Yeah.
Say, what do you want? You might want to lose what, 20 pounds. Lose 20
Mhm.
pounds. Okay, cool. Um, what would be different if you lost 20 pounds? Most people say
Ooh.
I might be lose my diabetes. It might be, it depends what your motivation is. It might be people on medication. People might just think, I just need want some more energy. I want to look better in clothes. Um, it could be like, I just want to keep up with my kids a little bit more and stuff like that. So the frame is 20 pounds. So it's not about the 20 pounds, but what's it going to do for you
Ooh.
in that. So from there, okay, that's what does it look like a little bit. What does that feel like if you can actually have more energy and actually like have more energy? You off the medication for however long it may be. Um, that you don't need to be banking on sugar energy drinks no more, but you actually know how to recycle your energy and this becomes your habit. What's that feeling going to be? Like, man, a lot of times that's like people can't even imagine that, but it like that seems like a unimaginable dream, whatever your
Mm.
dream may be. All right. Add on to that. Okay, who you celebrate with that? Who you want to celebrate this win with? Who's going to be impacted? I'm a husband. I'm married, so for me, my wife will be impacted. My daughter will be impacted. That I can have that more energy with that. That I have no medications. That I don't need to be around. Like I said, don't need to be going taking these hospital bills no more. Like how like who else gonna be impacted? My families, they might have a ripple effect seeing me and stuff like that. Make it
Mm.
bigger. The vision's there to make it bigger than you. All right. This is how we make sure it's not vanity. And then from there, the next question will be that's pretty much what you want. The next thing is, which my coach kind of taught me, is who must you become to make that reality? Because the current
Mm.
is not it. And this is where my coach labeled like, well, are you going to be an athlete? Because we know about athletes growing up. It might be I was an athlete from it can be a Pop Warner, Pee Wee, high school to all the way NFL, whatever you want to be, a pop athlete. There's levels of athletes, but that label of being an athlete means something. There's a certain standard that comes with that label. There's a standard that comes with me being a father. There's a standard of being a woman of God, man of God. There's a standard that comes with that. So, who must you become with this new label that's going to stick that you're no longer here? Many it's athletes. It's going to be somebody that's, and you listen, I'm going to be somebody that has to get up early. There's certain new levels of standards, and that's how your standards naturally supersede the goal that naturally pulls you to making that goal a reality.
Mm. That is so deep. So, just to wrap up, if there would be one seed that you could plant for the listeners, if there was
One
nothing else they remembered from this entire conversation, what would that seed be?
one seed. I'm going to speak to my guys out here, my brothers, whoever looking. Listen, and it applies to women too. My whole frame has always been the theme that the king eats first, meaning that as the head, you must be a priority for the sake of your kingdom. There's literally no kingdom in the word in general. There's no kingdom without the king. You are the ultimate ripple effect, whether it's in a positive fashion or a negative fashion. Somebody's watching, somebody's being impacted, somebody's being influenced by your health, your fitness, how they see you. It's you are the ultimate ripple effect in your life.
Hmm. Yeah, like a I can picture that picture of somebody skipping a stone on the water and it just like is reverberating. So
Yes.
it's like whatever you do, it's just going to reverberate. There's going to be just effects that's just happening because you're in the center of it all, like in
Yeah.
that way, as the head of the household, as the man of the house.
Yeah. And
So
it can apply to
everything,
anybody. It can apply to anybody. I just like to apply it to heads and leaders and so
yes,
they can apply to your life. Anything you do, everything is your fitness is the foundation of wherever you do because it comes with you everywhere you go. It really
right.
action, movements, word, the energy you bring to a podcast, whatever it may be. Um, it's everywhere you go. It's your state of readiness.
Oh, that is so good because we gotta see it like that more. We have to see it like that. It goes with you wherever you go. Did y'all hear that? That is a whole word because we gotta see it like this. We really do. So this has been a great conversation. Do you have any projects or events coming up that you would like to share?
Any projects events right now? June is a very dear month for me. Main thing is my
Hmm.
birthday, but also it's I'm a new father, so I will be doing some type of campaign for Father's Day. Men's Health Month is also June, that many people don't know about. But I'll probably set something up in June, very close, because it's near and dear to my heart. Plus, I'm a new dad, so can't say no
Oh,
more than that. But definitely things to come in June.
oh, okay. Because they probably going to see this a few months later, but it's good to know. We know for the future that
Yes.
June is Men's Health Month. We know, currently we're in May and this is Mental Health Month. So all of these things are coinciding, and we just need to really stay aware of our total health. Be
Mhm.
fit. So that's what I really took away from this entire conversation. Let's be fit.
I love it.
Um, so I just want to let the people know, how can they connect with you?
All right. So the best way to find me will be on Instagram at kevinfranklin.jr. My full name, Kevin Franklin dot the JR.
Yes, for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, it is on the screen currently, and all the information will be in the description box for everybody else who is listening or watching. Everything, all the tea is going to be there, so do not worry about that. I thank you so much for taking the time to join me today for this
Of
conversation,
course.
Kevin.
Of course. It's been nothing but a blessing. I'm grateful that you thought of me and considered me to be part
Oh,
of it.
yeah. Just a little tidbit for the people. We go way back to the college days, so
Yeah,
it's really a blessing to be able to reconnect in this way.
definitely.
Um, and I just thank everybody out there for watching or listening. Make sure that you subscribe, you comment and share if this was a blessing. If you know somebody in your life that's struggling with this fitness journey, just share this and be a blessing. Like, subscribe, comment, share, leave a review or a rating. Let us know in the comments below what you think about this episode. And also, if you love this, make sure that you follow me at B Channel 27 on all social media platforms. Thank y'all so much again for tuning in, and peace and blessings until next time.